Bill Dolan with Spirit Media. He has engaged with us in various ways to produce some of our big events in town, like the Good Friday Breakfast, a lot of the Luis Palau meetings. He's worked with stars around the world, celebrities, high-end companies, and he had a chance to engage directly in his faith journey because he actually died on the plane going to Nashville and had a friend resuscitate him. And so he has an amazing story and a journey, and now has a great production company and just released a new book. So I want to introduce a great friend and partner, Bill Dolan with Spirit Media. So Bill, come on up and share your story with us about purpose and your why.
Oh, James, Ron, thank you guys so much. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I am just blown away at how this event has continued to grow and grow and grow and make a difference in the community. And thanks to the sponsors who step up, especially now as we're doing it virtually. It might be virtual by title, but the truth is it's real. And it's real not because we're really networking. We are actually making connections. And that's probably one of the great lessons of my life experience. You know, as James said, yeah, I grew up in television and entertainment. For those of you who are in the Portland area, you might be familiar with KATU, the ABC affiliate here. I started out my career there when I was 20, and by the grace of God, became one of the youngest major market directors in the country through a series of crazy circumstances. And then ended up doing independent work, which launched really Spirit Media, our creative agency. And again, divine appointment after divine appointment. It opened up doors for me to work with, direct shows with, Gwen Stefani, Black Eyed Peas, Maroon 5, President Clinton. I mean, you name it. A lot of things that really opened up the doors for us. And quite frankly, I was so busy chasing success. I mean, I was having a ball doing it. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of us do is, and I've heard this many times, is what makes you happy? And we pursue what makes us happy. But, I've done a lot of shows with Disney and at Disneyland. And when you walk into the park, you see this big sign that says, happiest place on earth. And one of the challenges about the happiest place on earth, especially if we run the risk of deciding that's maybe our purpose, is that when you get on a ride at Disneyland, you swing around and you scream, you go, wee, this has been great. But you get off the same place you got on. And it made me wake up a little bit about the difference between purpose and happiness and what drives you. A lot of that became really, really clear on January 28th, 1999, because I was at the height of my rock star career with, all these different celebrities and traveling the world. And to be completely honest, I was to some degree on the world side going, wow, he's so successful. But I was honestly an absentee father and an absentee husband because I was busy traveling. And I would show up for all the events and stuff like that. And I associated showing up for the big events as having real relationship. And things started to change when I thought maybe I could work from home more. Maybe I could do some special projects. And I developed a documentary with a friend of mine. And we were very blessed to get a distribution company in Nashville that said, hey, come to Nashville. We love your work. We want to take this thing global, and we're going to write you a big check to do it. I thought, this is it. My life's going to change. I'm going to get big money. I'm going to work on passion projects, and this is going to be it. So I hop on the plane that morning with my best friend, Timothy Grainage. Some of you know him, one of the greatest gospel singers, audio engineers in the world. And if you're pulling out of Portland, you fly out over Mount Hood. And I remember that sense of thinking, from today, my life will never be the same. But about 20 minutes into that flight, I started to feel strange. I couldn't put my finger on it. I really couldn't. I'm never sick, ever, 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 ever. But it's like things started closing in on me. And I thought maybe I was going to pass out or something. I turned to Tim. I said, Tim, something's not right. And that's the last thing I said before my eyes rolled back in my head, my arms flopped down by my side, and my heart stopped. Now, Tim didn't officially know CPR, but he knew about chest compressions. So he started doing chest compressions and trying to get me going. And then nothing happened. So he's a big guy, you know, he picked me up and he put me in the aisleway, and he started doing more chest compressions. The way he tells it, and I write about this in my book, he said he was just about to break my ribs. He pulled his fist back. And just as he pulled his fist back, I took a breath. Now, for Tim, he experienced 2 to 3 minutes of airline trauma. And of course, it resulted in an emergency landing, a trip to a cardiac wing, all these different things. But for me, I had the most profound after-death experience you could possibly imagine. And it changed me. Now, it's a longer thing. And again, I write about it in the book. And if you want, email me, we'll talk. I'll tell you about it. But one of the things that came back was this very essence. When you've come back from death, one of the things you ask, and sometimes you even feel a little guilty, why me? Why did I get to come back? And maybe, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And that began the search for me. And I will tell you that when we pray for purpose, a lot of us are going to God and say, give me a map, because we want a map. I mean, we're hoping that it's going to be like we're going to run across it in the grocery aisle and it's going to be a big bottle of purpose. That's what I was looking for. We can grab it, drink it, and call it done. But it doesn't quite work that way. In fact, while we pray for a map, what I found that God often answers that prayer is with a compass. And right now, perhaps more than ever, it's time for us all to check that compass. Now, I'll throw this out, and it's not a perfect formula, but it's the journey that I went on. And it's this. You've heard people say, pursue your passion, you'll never have to work another day in your life, right? Most of us who've done that know that that's BS, okay? There's a lot of people that pursue their passions for which they have no aptitude. And the truth is, those passions are great hobbies, but they're not necessarily vocations. So God bless passions, but it's still a guide mark. And then there's people that have aptitudes. And there's a lot of us that maybe when we were little kids, they said, oh, look, you're good at math, or you're good at art, or you're good at sports, or you're good at whatever. And a lot of parents will push you in your aptitude, because for the most part, parents are interested to make sure you got a job, right? You know, and so they say, you're good at this, you should do this. And we pursue that because we value security over passion. But you know what happens when you have aptitude without passion? You got a job. And a lot of us have been in jobs for a year, 2 years, 20 years, maybe even 30 years, pursuing your aptitudes and putting your passions on the shelf. And that's a little check mark. But there's a third thing in that compass, and that is, what are your experiences? What are the things you have done in your life? The things that you realize you do? Or a question I ask a lot of time, what feeds you and what bleeds you? When you start looking at those three things together, again, it's not a map, but it becomes a trajectory that says maybe it's time to reset and get clarity about not just a path, but my authentic purpose. And that's exactly what I did. I pursued that piece with all my heart. And I can tell you that one of them was writing the book. The other thing was recognizing that after I had my death experience, that probably the most important thing in our life are relationships. And it makes events like this that much more important, because it's not really about networking. It's about making connection. And ultimately, if you really go into your heart and say, what do you want to do with your life? It's not about just being better at marketing, but maybe being the launch of a movement. And what is that stirring thing in your heart that could be the movement that you can carry forward and you can build, and not just build a business, but build a legacy? That's where the bar raised for me. So I want to give you this encouragement that if you don't know your purpose, it doesn't mean you don't have one. If you don't know how to find it, it doesn't mean you don't have one. If you don't know how to live it, or maybe even you're afraid of pursuing it, because there's a lot of us have taken that deep desire, that dream, that purpose, especially as you get older and it's been hard and you haven't done it the way you thought it would do. And we're standing over the grave of our dreams every day, mourning what could have been and thinking that's the way it's going to be. And I'm just going to live with it. And I'm here to tell you that what I experienced is that there's a God of the resurrection. And while that resurrected my life, I'm also talking about your dreams, your purpose, that do not have to be buried, do not have to die. And maybe it's a matter of timing, a matter of saying it's time. So, kind of wrap this up, I'll tell you this. One of the things that I got as a result of my death experience was I was implanted with a pacemaker. And 6 times a day, my pacemaker goes off because my heart rate drops to a low rate to where I could die. And it's so good. That means that I wake up every morning going, wow, I got another day. And it means when you go to bed at night, you ask the question, if this was my last day, did I live it in fulfillment of my purpose? Did I touch the relationships I was called to touch? Or in my case, did I let the people know in my life that I love them? Was my life a love letter to them if today is goodbye? So I just got to tell you, if you woke up today and you took a breath, it's not because we earned it or we deserved it. It's a gift. It's a gift from God. And more than a gift from God, it's a confirmation that you have value. You have purpose. You have destiny. And if you've never gone back, and maybe you need to go back to that gravesite and unearth those dreams, I just want to say today, take a second, take that breath, everybody, and let it out. Today could be your launch day.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Bill.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Amazing.
guys. Thanks so much for having me.
It is an honor, and we are so grateful. And it is fun to partner with you, and we invite everybody to be a part of this journey with us and to find their purpose. Because when you add that fourth wheel, like Patrice has been saying in his videos, it's exponential what takes place. And you're able to have a journey with a lot of folks and be able to accomplish a lot of things. And there's an explanation aspect that goes to that. So thank you for being a part of what we're doing today.
Indeed, that was amazing, Bill. I personally thank you. It's a privilege to have worked with you on a couple projects now. And you know, I was just in the store the other day looking for that bottle of purpose. I think it got cleared out next to the toilet paper or something. I don't know, but I still couldn't find it. But Bill, your message was perfect. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing the love. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for delivering purpose.
Thanks, you guys.